This is becoming a familiar sight as we saw several Atlanta officers once again today at the site of a new training facility that's been targeted by protesters. Police had already arrested about a half dozen of those protesters. Viewers wanted to know what officers were doing back out there once again today. So 11 Alive's Joe Kinke started asking questions.
Atlanta police officers returned to this property here off Key Road in DeKalb County this morning and drove down the winding road behind me into the woods that is labeled as a restricted area. They came back here less than 24 hours after Atlanta's interim police chief said anyone illegally using this property will be arrested. Multiple ATVs along with marked and unmarked squad cars drove into the woods late this morning. People previously built a makeshift village in these woods in protest of a new law enforcement training facility to be built nearby.
Anytime we encounter someone that is there illegally and they've been prior warned, they're going to be arrested. So there is no ability to camp or live in a treehouse on that site.
On Monday, interim police chief Darren Shearbaum said police had already removed illegal structures from the woods and future encampments would be stopped. An APD spokesperson says the officers out there today is part of that routine work. The tension over the training center has been building for months. In May, APD says protesters threw rocks and Molotov cocktails at officers as they attempted to escort construction workers through the site. Officers arrested 8 people.
7 out of 8 of them weren't even Metro Atlanta residents. So I don't know where they are today, but if they keep it up, they're going to be considered repeat offenders.
Recently, Crime Stoppers Atlanta said recent cases of vandalism might be linked to the protesters.
Anyone that is trying to stop and prevent a first-class public safety training center, we're going to be held accountable. Doesn't matter what type of crime they're committing or where they're committing it.
This video from May 13th shows 3 vandals causing $80,000 in damages to Brassfield and Gorey's Birmingham headquarters. The contractor is building the Atlanta training facility. The day before, arrest warrants detailed protesters breaking windows at the company's Cobb County offices, painting Stop Cop City and shooting Roman candles.
Peace. It's Bronzebird here with a video. I hope you guys got to see exactly what I just showed you. It's an interesting conversation in which I believe when they're talking about this cop city in Atlanta, this is to invoke not only the training facilities, right, but also just the idea of the encampments, the FEMA camps, and also as well, the police state being enacted in Atlanta. And I would only imagine in other cities, they've already done this for a while. They just decide when they want to put the information out. So the reason I make this video is because people shouldn't be surprised by this if you've been paying attention. And especially how they've had things like a quote unquote or so-called conspiracy theory about how there was a FEMA camp-like structure at an Amtrak facility, and I believe Beech Grove, Indiana, something like that. And so I just wanted to make that clear that, a lot of this stuff that's going on, this is stuff that they're invoking out here, but I just think it's so idiotic how you have a lot of people who decide to take things into their own man and think that by vandalizing the property or destroying the property, that's gonna stop the cop city from being developed. You know how you stop the cop city from being developed? You put together money yourselves and then you sit there and get a facility so you can watch the cop facility and watch what they do, or you buy out the cop city development itself and say you're not going to be able to do it. There's all these different constituents a lot of people are not aware of, but they think by sitting up there fighting against the cops is going to do something. They're backed by the government. So why do you think that you can do that and nothing's going to happen to you? Duh. So let me read this article with you and then I'll just give my closing thoughts afterwards. Police activity at future training complex, Cop City site in Atlanta. The site for a future police and fire training center has been the location of protests encampments this year. Atlanta. Police activity was ongoing Tuesday at the Cop City site in South Atlanta, where there have been protest encampments against the future police and fire training center. I mean, I get it, but it's not going to stop them from developing this training center. 11 Alive's Joe Henke was on the scene and reported seeing a dozen officers driving down Key Road into the South River Forest where the encampments have been located. Activists reported Officers going into the woods Tuesday morning and cutting down a tree with dozens more on site. They said it was directly next to where there is a person up in a tree, potentially threatening the life of the protester. Interim APD Chief Darren Scherbaum said on Monday encampments have been cleared from the property and work was underway to make sure they aren't rebuilt. Anytime we encounter someone that is there illegally and they have been prior warned, they're going to be arrested. An Atlanta police spokesperson tells 11 Alive officers returning to the site Tuesday was part of routine work by the department. Update. Activists said Tuesday afternoon there were no arrests of any members of the tree sit-in group, but that several trees have been cut down near where their encampments. They posted video of some of the fallen trees on Twitter. Which is my idea. I just don't understand. I'm not against people protesting, and at the same time, the actions of doing a sit-in or trying to prevent them from doing this. This is talking about finances, talking about money. So at the end of the day, you guys could do a sit-in and stuff like that. But I mean, if you only got a small group, what do you think you're going to be of to them? Nothing, because most people don't care. So y'all sitting out there doing all that, and they're sitting up there developing this stuff. If we want to say for, let's say, the NWO. You're not going to get anywhere. I'm just making sure people understand that. Follow up, no arrests and no machinery reported on the ground. Police accompanied one worker to cut several trees next to an occupied tree sit, mobilized around the woods for a couple of hours and vacated the area by noon. Well, just to check in for what they're saying really quickly. I don't want to read this long into the article, but I'll leave the article up on my page so you guys can check it out. So basically, it's just a bunch of protesters that's trying to protest against this new facility for Atlanta. But again, the reason I make this video is so that people can have an eye-opening perspective. How you don't know a lot of this stuff is taking place right now in your metropolitan cities. And that when it comes time, they're going to be able to say, this is the facility we have. There's nothing you can do about it. And so you're going to get protesters who just found out about the facility itself to go ahead and act on it. But listen, all I'm saying is you have to be alert. Maybe there might be an upcoming purge and all these different things out there. You understand? You got to take care of yourself. You got to understand about what's going on in the world, what's going on with the world around you. This is not something that's new. It's been in planning. They just do think it's in secret. And then when it comes out to the public, they allow it to happen by then. Take care of yourselves, peeps. Peace.